functions. Okay, both lights flashing. I'm gonna switch to 0. So I'm gonna go to transport mode. So in the transport mode, the green light is on. If I push the green button, I have alarm going off, but I have the motor running as well. Okay, so now the difference is there's no lights on here. One red here. So drive is disabled, and if I push a green button, alarm sound. Okay. So that is showing there's a problem with the angle sensors at the cage knuckle. So I will go to cage and I see what's happening there. Okay, so I think the problem is those two sensors here. Okay, so this is the leveling sensors, and this plug is not fully in and is sitting slightly off square. So maybe that's a problem, or maybe something else. But if one of those sensors goes off or is develops a fault, then we would have the similar problems. So let's try to reconnect the sensor and we will see with the wiring in the console. So I have this plug here, connector 17, yeah, 17, and this wires here are CA2, core number 6, and shouldn't be CA1, yeah, CA1, core number 3. So what I will do, I will measure the voltage on CA1 plus, negative. That's a power supply to the sensors. So this is sensor 1, that's sensor 2. And then we're gonna check the output on this CA2 and CA1. So the power supply should be around 12 volts. Output of the sensor should be between 0.5 and 4.5. So I'll measure that and we're gonna continue. Okay, so I had to take the heat shrink of the wires. So CA1 and CA2, my ground connected onto 0 volt supply. So the power rail to the sensors is here and is reading 11.6. The second sensor is the same. I have 11.6. Now CA1 sensor output, I read 2.5 volts, and on a CA2 I have 2.4. Still having an alarm going off. So what I'm gonna try to do, gonna connect a diagnostic module just to see if the cage weight is reading correctly, and then I will check on the PLC plug in there to see if the connections are good there. Couldn't see any problems in the cage, so the cage was reading 30%, so it means standing in it, so that means the cage weight system is working fine. Knuckle sensor is reading correctly, both providing 2.5 volts on output, so it's good. So what I will do now, I will check those two sensors on the links. We have two sensors right there, and I will measure the output from those two. So inside the main box, what I should find, so that's where I use my ground on a blue wire, and I'm looking for BAX1, BAX2, and then we have BAY, yeah, BAY1 and BAY2. Okay, so this is one sensor, X and Y axis. This is one sensor, X and Y axis. So the sensors are mounted exactly in the same location, so I'm expecting to see the same voltage reading on X axis for both sensors and onto Y axis for both sensors. Let me get my screen in here somewhere. Okay, so the machine is on now. I just disconnect the sounder so it's more convenient to work. So the power supply 12.8. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure BAX1. So that's giving me 2.5. BAX2 2.5. And then I'm gonna check into, where should I put this? And then BY. So I'm gonna go right there. So BY1, BAY1 2.5 volts, and then BAY2 2.5 volts. Okay, so the voltage is good on both sensors. Okay, so what I will do now, I will go and I will run the angle calibration for the diagnostic box and then see how it goes. Okay, so what I have the level of the cage manually. Machine is completely sitting on the flat ground. The boom is all the way down. The cage is level, so I will run through the calibration. So you go into calibration. Let me switch the light off. So into calibration, angles. F2. So you have to press and hold F2 here and press OK at the same time. So let me focus. Yeah, F2 OK, hold it. Now I have to type in the password. So I will use my own password. So when the password is in, is accepted, then it's showing you that it's calibrating. See here, and it's showing it's calibrated. Okay, back. And now, see, that's not alarming anymore. So that's not flashing. Green light is on. That has changed. And all the free relays is on. So only thing I had to do just to check the sensors output in the cage. Sensor outputs in base. So the base we have 4 outputs, 2 x-axis, 2 y-axis. In the cage is only 1 output, and then what we had to do, if the outputs are good, to run a calibration. So let's see if I press the button. Yeah, the motor is running. Let's try to restart the machine just to see if the problem is gone for good. Okay, so it's all working fine. So what I will do, I will check the cage leveling, make sure there's no problem there, and then it should be good to go. Try to use it from the cage, go up and down, and now it's saying it's tilting. So something has gone wrong again. So something has happened again. So it's showing me a tilt now. Alright, let's go and do the check again on the sensors. Okay, so what I have now, I have the alarm going off again, but the interesting thing is I got the cage out of level. Okay, and then if I'm reading on a CA2 output, I have 2.24 volts. But if I'm reading on CA1 here, 2.7. So for some reason one sensor is gone one way and the next sensor is going the other way. So I think maybe the sensor is really wrong way around. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is the sensor. So I need the light on. So what I think, one of the sensors is wrong way around. It should be reading same, but one sensor, this part is facing out, and on that sensor is facing toward that side. So I think they're reading opposite angles. That's why the output is on 2.2 on one and 2.7 on the other one. So what I'll try to do, I will try to refit this sensor. So I think this one is the wrong way around. Okay, and we will continue from there. Let's take this sensor, number 2. You see? So this one is fitted the wrong way around. So what I have to do is take this off, and it has to be fitted like this. Okay. So that's the way it has to be fitted on. So it doesn't matter which one is first. This one could be first, as long as they fit in the same direction, because they're reading the same angle. So if they fit it that way, so they're working up against each other. So they have to be fitted exactly the same way. So they're providing exactly the same data. And yeah, let's fit them on, and I will try to recalibrate the machine again and test it one more time. Okay, so I have the sensors refitted as they should be. So what I want to show you, I still have this angled. So the cage is still angled, but the machine is up and running now. But what I want to show you, the voltage reading on the both sensors should be close. So one 2.24, okay, and the other one 2.25. I mean, a slight difference in reading is not a big deal, because that's being compensated by calibration. So, but they're reading as they should do, both reading in the same direction. And if I try to level the cage with this flashing button, the cage is leveling up now. Okay, so it's leveled. And one more time on the sensors. So we got 2.43, and the next one 2.44. Okay, so I think the problem is solved. So what I will do, I will run the calibration one more time, just to be sure everything's okay there, test the leveling, and I think it's going to be done for now.